Welcome to GBALL VISION, everyone. Today we are talking about some EDC pouches and what their role is. What their role is for me, what kind of utility can an EDC pouch provide, and how I kit this particular pouch out for myself. So we'll start with the front here. We have a Liangma Field Duty 3.5 patch. We have an old school Blue Creek Knives Knife Nerd patch. Miss Blue Creek Knives. I hope Brian's doing well. Huge shout out to him. And the pouch that these patches are sitting on is an American made pouch coming from Etsy. stwMN on Etsy. I will link his Etsy down below. It stands for Superior Threadworks, and the MN, I believe, is Minnesota. He's out of Minnesota, I believe. But Superior Threadworks is the guy behind these pouches. This is the mini charcoal. Yes, it used to be a charcoal look, but with lots of use and carry, it's kind of took on a life of its own. But originally, it still looks good, but originally this was a beautiful pouch. Coming in under 40 bucks, right around $38, I believe. This is the mini charcoal Cordura nylon EDC pouch. So the reason for this pouch, this exact one, I have a bunch of different pouches that are all made up for different things, right? Don't get, if you get into the pouch game, don't get into pouches and think of every pouch having to have the same exact items, unless that's what you're into, just kind of switching pouches and whatnot. But I've made a roll for a lot of my EDC pouches, or my pouches in general. They all kind of serve a different utility. So this one is probably the most utilitarian. If I'm grabbing this pouch, that means I want to cover as many bases as I can when I leave my house that I can possibly cover and fit into, a little, let's see what we got here, like 5.5 by 4-inch space. Let's just call it 5 by 4 space. How much utility can this really hold? Well, let's see. So we open it up here. The first thing that I take notice to is the great stitching, and that it's made right here in the USA. STW, Superior Threadworks. So he's got his tag and the USA tag right there, filled with a bunch of Chinese gear. Yes, I know, but the pouch is USA made. So let's dive into this pouch and why I set it up like this. So kicking us off, we have the Olight O-Pry tool. This thing is fantastic, guys, for the money. This serves a ton of utility just in itself. It is a bit driver. It houses 2 bits that are double-sided. Now, in this case, I have a 6/8, and then I switched the other one out for just a 10. That way I can cover 6, 8, 10, all good to go right here in this little guy. You also can, you have a nut driver there, bottle opener here, and then, of course, you have your pry section there. And for being a pry bar, this is actually fairly comfortable. The extent of, and then you have a roller here, the extent of utility as far as these mini pry bars go, guys, they're only going to be capable of so much. You're only going to be able to get so much leverage on these. These do not compare to, even a smaller pry bar. But in a pinch, these things work pretty good. As far as most items that are multifaceted, kind of similar to this, it's a pry bar, bottle opener, bit driver. A lot of those can be gimmicky. But in the case of this right here, totally not a gimmick. I've been using this hard for the last year or so, and it has performed awesome. You spin this little guy, and you can get your drivers out there, and then when you're done, you turn that back to the side and they are safely housed. I've never had an issue with this moving or anything like that. I think it's on some sort of ball bearing in there that keeps it. You really got to kind of twist it to get it to move. But I like the multi utility that this thing provides. Even if it was just a bit driver and the pry bar, that would be fantastic. But you know, you have the bottle opener, you can turn some nuts with it if that's your thing. You can measure some shit if you feel like you need to. Hopefully you're not measuring anything that small. But provides a ton of utility, and this will forever live in this pouch. And the greatest thing about it is it has a nice smiley face there on the front. The tweezers are going to be pretty much self-explanatory. Splinters, you know, you have a hair growing on your nose and you need to rip it out, whatever. These are titanium and they come down nice and thin, so you can get to some pretty small objects with these. That's one reason why I really like these. I cannot find these anymore. They have some jimping here for some nice grip. You used to be able to get these on Amazon for like 10, 12 bucks. And I've tried to find them and locate some more, but I have not been successful in finding real titanium tweezers similar to these. They do make some aluminum ones and some other various ones, and I'm sure you could find some titanium tweezers elsewhere. If I can find something that's relatively close, I'll link it down below. And I'll link the rest of this stuff as well. But those slide in there nice and perfectly in between the pry bar and the Big Idea Design pen. So it's a perfect fit. Everything that I have in here is carefully placed. And it's mainly stayed the same. I've showed this off once before, but back then I wasn't 100% sure, I don't think, of how I was going to keep it. But pen is pretty self-explanatory. It's nice and lightweight, full titanium. Pocket clip is titanium. Big Idea Design. What do they call this? Big Idea Design. I don't know. Big Idea Design EDC pen. And it actually, you can get adjustable refills and it'll take it out to like there-ish. So, I mean, you know, you can extend it, or I like keeping it like this in this case, or you can keep it really small. It's just big enough that it won't cramp your hand. You know, extended use maybe, but for just writing a few things or what have you, perfectly suited for the job. Just big enough for that, but also just small enough to fit in a lot of different pouches, and that's one reason why this is in here. I also bought a second one that I keep in one of my EDC boxes. So let's go to the flashlight. We have a Dapper Designs Ion, which is apparently dead at this point, but it is a rechargeable USB, I believe, and it's full titanium except for the pocket clip. I believe that is steel. Let's double check. Yeah, that is steel, but the rest of it is titanium, and you can take this off if you wish. You know, if you plan on just keeping it in a pouch, never going to, you know, throw it in your pocket, you could take that off. But flashlight, pretty self-explanatory. It's great to have, you know, and with me, I'm usually carrying a knife. I'm usually carrying a flashlight. But I don't always carry a pry bar, and I don't always carry a multi-tool, and I don't always carry a pen. And that's one reason for this pouch. This is like I'm leaving the house and I need to have some utility and some secondary items with me. And in my truck, I have a multi-tool, I have a flashlight, I have extra knives. But just the ability to have all this stuff in this little pouch that you can slide in your back pocket or in a cargo shorts pocket or what have you. Just, it's really nice to have this. Is it necessary? Probably not, but it comes in handy for sure. And then we have the Shieldin Leap right here. Fantastic little mini multi-tool. It actually earned its way into this pouch. This slot was reserved for other things, and this actually won a spot in this pouch, which is pretty extraordinary. So everything is locking and disengaged with this crossbar style disengagement. You get a nice Tanto-esque straight blade knife here, and then another utility that I really love about this thing is the scissors. The scissors are very nice, guys. Very well executed. The spring is perfect. Look how strong that bad boy is. And they came razor sharp, guys. Razor sharp. Love that. And then, of course, some more utility. You get a file, multi-directional, and a straight file. Plus, you get a 2D Phillips head there, which, of course, has some function in itself. Then, come here. You have a mini pry bar, mini flathead, can opener, and bottle opener all in one, which is a cool feature. And this is just big enough to get a nice grip on it if you did have to open a can or do a little bit of light prying, whatever. And then you get a freaking saw, guys. And it works pretty damn good. It's multi-directional. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up. Yeah, there, see? And it works decent. Would you want to go cut a 2x4.5 with this? No. But, you know, if push comes to shove and you need something similar to this, this is going to work for you. It'll do as good as a little 2-inch saw can do. And these are like under $15. I want to say $12. Totally worth it. You can throw it on a key ring if you want. Nice minimal package. And to put it in perspective, here is a Leatherman Skeletal. So look at the difference in size. And this thing just has a ton of utility. So that is where that guy will live for the rest of time. And then we have our backup blade, Big Idea Design, side click mini, or whatever the hell these are called. I'm not 100% sure. Big Idea Design TPT slide is what it's called. So this one has the pocket clip. It's a little different than the original one. Works very, very well. Little lanyard there. Little pry bar area there. I don't know how useful that would ever be, but it's there. And then, you know, it's nice to have a nice, small, little utility knife like this if need be. You know, if you get into something nasty or whatever that you don't want to necessarily use your pocket knife on or something. You know, you have replaceable blades here. Easy to acquire these type of blades. Standard utility blade. Highly, highly recommendable to have. Not necessarily this one here. This is a little more expensive. And there's plenty out there that are a lot more expensive than this. But Gerber makes one. Outdoor Gear or Outdoor Edge makes one. They are both fantastic. I have both of them. Not quite, you know, the machining and finesse that this has, but they're about a 16th of the cost of one of these. You know, these are 60, 70, 80 bucks maybe. They're not cheap. And it's just, I don't know how they get so much for this, and it's because people like me buy them. But tons of utility, very useful to have something like this. So the main idea, guys, is that when I grab this pouch, you know, I'm going somewhere for the whole day, or I'm going somewhere for a day or two or a week, and this is coming with me, you know, and I need to charge the flashlight. But this is coming with me, and it's going to provide a ton of utility. Now, we'll go over some other pouches in some separate videos, you know, whether you want to make a fire kit or like a fire pouch or a tool pouch or whatever, a medical pouch. That's what I would do. If you have multiple pouches, then it's a great idea to make them multi-useful. Pouches are a great way to organize your gear too. Like in my get home bag, I have a couple of these type of pouches organizing a bunch of my gear. That way I know this is my tool pouch. I can open it up and I know I got snips and a multi-tool and so on. Then I have another one that's a dedicated fire pouch. I know I can get in there, get a lighter, a strike, you know, whatever. So these are great for organizing your gear and being able to keep it close by. And because everything is titanium with the exception of this, you know, this is very light. Considerably light for everything that's in here, and you know, it can be smashed down. You know, it's not necessarily as big as it looks. If you need to put this in your pocket, it will, you know, kind of smash down a little bit. But let me know if you're into EDC pouches. Let me know, you know, what you do with yours. Do you kit them all out the same? Do you have different useful or uses for each one? Let me know. I'm interested to hear, you know, are you not into them at all? Are you considering getting into, you know, getting a pouch? Let me know down below. I'm going to have to put a new lanyard on here. I don't know where it went, actually. But, yeah, let me know down in the comments if something like these are of interest to you. It's definitely a rabbit hole that you can get sucked down. Backpacks, pouches, that sort of thing are definitely a hole in themselves. You can really get sucked down the pouch game. I have quite a few myself. Luckily, I'm not, you know, too crazy into it, but I do have 10 or 12 of them probably. But they are very useful, and a lot of them are very well made. Maxpedition is great. This company is just wonderful, great pricing. 35 to 40 bucks for this. That is awesome. Very good deal. You know, a lot of the other companies like Data Crew and stuff, you're going to be paying $20, $30, $40 more, if not a lot more than this pouch. And this is USA made, very well done. I used to take this to work with me all the time. Has held up extremely well. The zipper's nice and rugged and tough and smooth, quick, easy. I love this pouch. I wouldn't hesitate to pick up another one of these as well. That'll wrap it up, guys. If you're new here and you're not subscribed, consider hitting the subscribe button. I'd love to have you here. We have a giveaway coming up. We have all kinds of videos coming up the pipe as well. Don't want to miss them. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to miss them. You just don't. So you want to subscribe and you want to watch all the videos all the way through while commenting 10 or 12 times, hitting the thumbs up button 10 times. Do all those things 10 times, maybe 11. Now do it 12. Love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.